Hi everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. I am going to be working mainly with two products from the new Halloween release today. I'm going to be working with this Lovely Layers Mini Fall Florals die set. This is a very large die set with just some really cute images, and so I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to use those today. I'm also going to be using this Spiderweb 3D embossing folder. I'm not really sure how well you can see this right now on the camera, but I am going to be working with this for one of the elements for my card today. Okay, so I have the Spiderweb embossing folder all embossed onto a piece of white cardstock. And what I'm going to do is take the Lisa Horton Interference ink in the Galaxy Dream Shimmer, and I'm actually going to rub that onto this paper to create some color on the top. Now I have this so that the deboss side is facing up, and so that the indentations of the web are actually going to be not taking any of the ink. And I'm going to kind of use a bit of a circular motion when I'm putting this ink on. And what I thought was so neat about this when I tried it first is it kind of creates these scratchy areas, it kind of looks like scratches, which I thought looked really cool and very distressed. And I just really like that look and how this ink applies to the embossing paper, or the embossed paper. Just think it just gives a really cool effect. So you can see there, like I said, when I did those circular motions, it just kind of creates that little bit of scratchiness. And I'll just bring you in a little bit tighter there so that you can see how cool that looks. I really love that. Now it's going to take that a little bit of time to dry. So I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to use the one that I did previously as the one for my card today. But how cool is that? I love these Lisa Horton Interference inks. This color, this pad has two different colors on it. It shows up differently on white as opposed to black. It dries back fairly quickly, and once it's dry, you don't get any transfer of ink. So I love that about it too. So I'm going to set this one aside to dry. Now this one is completely dry here. You can see that when you look at it head on, it kind of almost looks teal. And then when you rotate it into the light, you do get a really cool purple effect. So I am going to just go ahead and set this aside, and we're going to go ahead and add some color to our die cuts from that mini fall floral die set. Okay, so I have all of the die cut pieces on my table from the mini fall floral arrangement die set, and I'm going to go ahead and use some more of the Lisa Horton Interference inks to add some color to these die cut pieces. So I've cut these all from white, and I'm going to start off with the charcoal gold shimmer, and I'm going to use that for the base of the boot, and just be able to see as I blend this on all of that shimmer and shine that's going to show up. And I am just working on, I have all of my die cut pieces here on my Alt New large grip mat. And I love that gold shimmer that's shining through here on this one, on this boot. Really cool. I'm not too worried about it being super solid because this layer is going to layer over top, and then this piece down here I'm going to color with the same color. And I do have a separate set of brushes dedicated to my interference inks because they are a very specialized ink, and I don't want to get these inks mixed up with my other brushes, so I keep them in a separate container. And this ink is a dye pigment ink fusion. It's just a really cool ink with those really fun properties. So now I'm going to take the teal twist shimmer. I think this might be my favorite color of all of the interference inks. It's gorgeous. And I'm going to add that to this section of the boot. Love that teal. And that's going to layer beautifully over top of that charcoal gold shimmer. Okay, so I'm just going to get that blended on there. And it will grab my reverse tweezers here. Just pick that up off of there, and you can see how easily that layers over top. So we're going to get a little bit of that gold boot showing on the heel and on the platform, and then this piece layers over top. So we're going to get just that really cool effect of those inks when we layer that together. Okay, so I'm going to start to work on the sunflower, and the sunflower is just these 3 die cuts here. So for the base, I'm going to use pumpkin spice. And this has just got, it's kind of a fusion of pink and orange. So it's gorgeous. And you can see both of those colors, right? So it's just beautiful. Love the ink so much. Okay, and then we're going to take our next color, which is ripe mango. And I might just use the same brush. And I'll just give it a little bit of a clean on my paper towel. And go into that ripe mango. And we'll add that on to the next piece. Super pretty. So we're kind of getting a fusion of yellow and orange with the ripe mango. And then if you used it on black, you would get green. And then we're going to go in to the center with our charcoal gold. We'll do the center there with that color. And then that is going to finish off that one. Look how gorgeous that is when it's layered together. Absolutely stunning. Love it. Okay, and next we're going to go on to our anemone. We're going to start off with the Summer Garden for the base layer, which is kind of a fusion of blue and green. So pretty. The next layer we're going to do is Warm Chestnut Shimmer. And this is just a really, really rich, kind of a purpley mahogany kind of a color. It's gorgeous. Now we're going to go in with Lavender Fields for the next layer for this anemone. Just going to move this piece up here a little bit. This one is called Lavender Fields. So pretty. And I'm going to use the charcoal color for that center. And there we can see how all of those pieces are going to layer up when they go together for that one. Okay, so for our protea, I'm going to start off with the charcoal gold. Really love the charcoal gold. It's a good one. They're all good ones. And I'm going to go in with the mango again for this next layer. I think I'm going to do something a little bit different for the next layer. I'm going to use the Opal Blush, which is probably not even going to look like what a color of a flower would even be, but I think it's just going to look really pretty with the boot and the rest of the colors that I have. So I'm going to just clean my brush a little bit. And yeah, I've got the right color out here. So this is that Opal Blush Shimmer. Oh my gosh. Oh, so pretty. I just love it. Look how pretty that's going to look on that orange. Love, 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 love. And for this flower, which is a lily, I'm going to go back to the mango. And I'm going to do both of the pieces here. I'll move this up a little bit so you can see it. Both of the pieces with the mango. I'm going to try not to go into that blue there because I don't want to bring any of that blue into our lily. And then I am going to grab, and I think I actually did get a little bit of blue on there. Oh well, it actually looks green. I am going to do a little bit of the charcoal for the center there. So that finishes off the lily. Might just go over that a little bit more with our mango. For the cone flower, I am going to use the warm chestnut for the base. Such a rich, beautiful color. And I'm going to use the pumpkin for the top layer or the next layer. Very pretty. And then lastly, I'm going to use the charcoal gold for the center. That is going to finish off the cone flower. So we'll just go ahead and put that together so you can see how pretty those colors are. And I will set that aside, and I'm going to do this last little flower, and then it'll just be some greenery. This is, this is the, did I cut? Oh no, this is the sunflower bud. This is the sunflower bud. So I am going to use some greens and yellow for this one. Let's go with, let's try some of this Magic Garden. Haven't used that one yet. And I'm going to color or ink up the base with the green, and this smaller one, green, and then this one is going to be the yellow. So for the yellow, we are going to go back to the ripe mango. And I'm just going to put this on a clean spot on my mat and pick up a little bit of ink. And that is going to complete our sunflower bud. Now for the leaves, we're going to use some of the warm chestnut. I kind of like this milk chocolate color. I haven't used that one yet. I am going to have to grab another brush, and I'm going to go in and do, well, this one looks like an oak leaf. So like that. I think that looks pretty. And again, this one, this is the spring green. I'm going to do a little bit of the pumpkin spice on this one. It's going to go a little darker on the bottom. Okay, so I have all of these sweet little bits put together from our die set that we went ahead and ink blended with our interference ink. I love how easy these are to layer together using the layering guide that accompanies the product, and just really, really fun. Now what I also did was I trimmed down our piece that we embossed at the beginning and added that ink. And then I also die cut one of the pieces of patterned paper from this pad, which is called Sweet and Spooky. This is a really, really great paper pad. And I did use the purple spiderweb pattern. I used the Lovely Layouts posted die, the largest rectangle that's in that die set, to die cut out my card front. So my panel is going to be that gorgeous spider web, and then my embossed piece is going to be layered on top, and then we're going to assemble our boot on top of that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of my honeybee glue on the back of this pattern paper, trying to get that centered on here as best as I can without picking it up or moving it underneath my head so that I can do this on camera. So I'll just give that a really good press, like so. And now this panel has been trimmed so that it just fits nicely into that opening, and so that we still have some nice margin space where you can see that pattern paper. Now I think that I'm going to put the focal point of the web right about here, and then I'll put the boot down in that section. And I'm thinking I'm going to adhere this piece onto my card front with some foam adhesive. Okay, so this is what I've come up with so far. And I am going to just go ahead and lay a little bit of press and seal down on top of this so that everything stays stuck together. And I will pick everything up and flip it over. And I could have hinged it off to the side, but I'm okay with what this is going to be at this point. I am going to grab my adhesive. One way of doing this would be to layer pieces of foam adhesive that are going to kind of make it stick together. Just make all of these little pieces stick together. But I think instead of that, just because I don't want any of my foam adhesive to show, I am going to do this like this. And we'll add these all the way down. Okay, and now I am going to put this down right about here, which is, I think, right about where I had it. Give that a press. I'll just carefully pull this off. Now I wanted to leave this open here for my greeting. And what I want to do right now is just take these little pieces, these little layers, and kind of lift them up a little bit with my craft pick, just to give the top layer of my lovely layer pieces a little bit of life wherever possible. Here and down here, my anemone. Just kind of lift them up a little bit so that they just look a little more full. Okay, and now we just need our sentiment. Before we add the sentiment, I'm going to take a little bit of the Spellbinders Splatter White, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it on my table here. And I'm going to just add a tiny little bit of water to it, just so it's a little bit easier to splatter. And I'll just mix that up a little bit here on my glass mat. And I'll go ahead and splatter that onto our project, just to add that little bit of extra detail. And you could do this with black, you could do it with gold, whatever you like to splatter with. Now while that white splatter is drying, we'll just work on our sentiment. I used the Hey Boo sentiment from Happy Halloween. I stamped that out with black ink, and I used a little bit of clear embossing powder over top just to create this really nice shiny dimensional sentiment for our project. I have die cut that with the coordinating die an additional 2 times. And what we'll do is go ahead and glue these pieces together, and in that way it will create more of a dimensional sentiment for us. That kind of alleviates the need for foam adhesive. You could still put some foam adhesive on here even after doing this if you want it to be even just a little bit more dimensional, but this definitely helps. So just add these 3 layers together with my honeybee glue. Just recently got a new bottle of honeybee glue. I've been out for a while. Oh my gosh, it is such good glue. I love that it has that wiggle time. Makes such a big difference. Okay, there's our gorgeous little card. How sweet is it? And now we can take our sentiment, and there's just a perfect little spot here for it. And we can still see our spider web in behind, and obviously all of the beautiful little elements of the florals and leaves and so on. I love this color palette. It definitely was inspired by the honeybee patterned paper pad, which is so pretty. You can just see how gorgeous that purple matches that interference ink that I used for the background. And I'm just gonna do this, and then I'll lift up the little lace so that it's over top. And I think that's pretty straight. Just gonna take a look before it's completely dry there. I think that looks good though. So I'll give it a good press so that it adheres to that embossed background. And all of the adhesive, or the, I should say the ink that's on there. If you get any ooze, you can just scoop it up with your tweezers or your craft pick and get rid of any glue ooze that you might have. Oh my gosh, I think that looks really cute. Something else that you could do, this was definitely an afterthought, but you could add, because I've got some pieces left here, you could add one of your little florals in behind your sentiment, and that would bring your florals kind of over here to the side, but I don't know if I could do it. I could if I cut this, you know what I mean? If I just kind of trimmed off. Let's see if we can make it work and what we think of it. I'll just go ahead and trim that off, and then we could stick that up there like that's coming out of the side. What do you think? Do you like it with the extra little floral, or does it look good without? Does it look better without? Then you could actually take that extra little bit and put it down here so that it looks like the stem of your flower is kind of extending down there. That'd be kind of cute too. Let's trim off that stem right about here and see what we think it looks like. Kind of covers up the boo a little bit, but it's kind of cute. That's another option. So really love how this turned out. This is such a cool set. The die set is amazing. So the mini fall florals, really love that set. It matches up or goes so nicely with so many of the other elements from this collection following. So hope you enjoyed today, friends. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you again next Friday. Bye-bye.